Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. I'm your host. Leah's going to be here shortly. She's taking care of Sydney. I'm going to go right to President Trump, who is already addressing the nation. I was waiting for Right Side Broadcasting, and they weren't there. So, sorry, I messed that up.
1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted on the dangerous trek up through Mexico. Women and children are the biggest victims, by far, of our broken system. This is the tragic reality of illegal immigration on our southern border. This is the cycle of human suffering that I am determined to end. My administration has presented Congress with a detailed proposal to secure the border and stop the criminal gangs, drug smugglers, and human traffickers. It's a tremendous problem. Our proposal was developed by law enforcement professionals and border agents at the Department of Homeland Security. These are the resources they have requested to properly perform their mission and keep America safe. In fact, safer than ever before. The proposal from Homeland Security includes cutting-edge technology for detecting drugs, weapons, illegal contraband, and many other things. We have requested more agents, immigration judges, and bed space to process the sharp rise in unlawful migration fueled by our very strong economy. Our plan also contains an urgent request for humanitarian assistance and medical support. Furthermore, we have asked Congress to close border security loopholes so that illegal immigrant children can be safely and humanely returned back home. Finally, as part of an overall approach to border security, law enforcement professionals have requested $5.7 billion for a physical barrier. At the request of Democrats, it will be a steel barrier rather than a concrete wall. This barrier is absolutely critical to border security. It's also what our professionals at the border want and need. This is just common sense. The border wall would very quickly pay for itself. The cost of illegal drugs exceeds $500 billion a year, vastly more than the $5.7 billion we have requested from Congress. The wall will also be paid for indirectly by the great new trade deal we have made with Mexico. Senator Chuck Schumer, who you will be hearing from later tonight, has repeatedly supported a physical barrier in the past, along with many other Democrats. They changed their mind only after I was elected president.
True.
Democrats in Congress have refused to acknowledge the crisis, and they have refused to provide our brave border agents with the tools they desperately need to protect our families and our nation. The federal government remains shut down for one reason, and one reason only, because Democrats will not fund border security. My administration is doing everything in our power to help those impacted by the situation. But the only solution is for Democrats to pass a spending bill that defends our borders and reopens the government. This situation could be solved in a 45-minute meeting. I have invited congressional leadership to the White House tomorrow to get this done. Hopefully, we can rise above partisan politics in order to support national security. Some have suggested a barrier is immoral. Then why do wealthy politicians build walls, fences, and gates around their homes? They don't build walls because they hate the people on the outside, but because they love the people on the inside. The only thing that is immoral is the politicians to do nothing and continue to allow more innocent people to be so horribly victimized. America's heart broke the day after Christmas when a young police officer in California was savagely murdered in cold blood by an illegal alien who just came across the border. Wow. The life of an American hero was stolen by someone who had no right to be in our country. Day after day, precious lives are cut short by those who have violated our borders. In California, an Air Force veteran was raped, murdered, and beaten to death with a hammer by an illegal alien with a long criminal history. In Georgia, an illegal alien was recently charged with murder for killing, beheading, and dismembering his neighbor. In Maryland, MS-13 gang members who arrived in the United States as unaccompanied minors were arrested and charged last year after viciously stabbing and beating a 16-year-old girl. Over the last several years, I've met with dozens of families whose loved ones were stolen by illegal immigration. I've held the hands of the weeping mothers and embraced the grief-stricken fathers. So sad, so terrible. I will never forget the pain in their eyes, the tremble in their voices, and the sadness gripping their souls. How much more American blood must we shed before Congress does its job? For those who refuse to compromise in the name of border security, I would ask, imagine if it was your child, your husband, or your wife, whose life was so cruelly shattered and totally broken. To every member of Congress, pass a bill that ends this crisis. To every citizen, call Congress and tell them to finally, after all of these decades, secure our border. This is a choice between right and wrong, justice and injustice. This is about whether we fulfill our sacred duty to the American citizens we serve. When I took the oath of office, I swore to protect our country, and that is what I will always do. So help me God. Thank you and good night.
That cannot be it.
Okay, that was the president speaking, addressing the nation from the Oval Office. In just a moment, we will hear the Democrats' response. We'll go to that as soon as they come up. Our team is following all of this. Major Garrett is at the White House, Nancy Cordes on Capitol Hill, and Ed O'Keefe joins me here on set in New York City. Major, the president says the crisis of heart and...
I can't, This is my show.
Oh, my word.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
So that was really short. That was much shorter than I anticipated that it was going to be.
Why do I feel that I'm not getting it?
Hang on, wait. I don't think I muted. Oh, I did stop it. Okay.
President Trump, I understand the address. I'm kind of at a loss for words because, let's go over to Fox News. Let's go see what they're saying over there.
You want to watch something?
Well, obviously they're going to be.
Well, first of all, we missed the first 3 minutes. I don't know what he said there. I don't know if he addressed. I know he did mention drugs. To me, when he was talking, I said this last week. You guys heard me. The drugs that have poured in, that have robbed so many lives from the heroin epidemic. To me, that's more than enough. That's a same affront and an assault on our nation and on our people, mostly young people. And I think that he could have appealed to a wider base, a more bipartisan base, because like I said last week, at least here in Ohio, there isn't a family that hasn't been touched by, at least directly or indirectly, someone who has lost their life from the heroin epidemic.
Is our volume on? Because this is a really good article. No, it's not.
It is.
On
It
okay.
is. I can turn it up though. If I can reach
This is a really good
There you go.
explanation of why you need a wall.
Conservatives on TV and politicians have a hard time articulating is intelligent reasons why the wall must be built. I am curious your thoughts on that.
3 quick things. Number 1, I'm going to say some facts. I'm going to talk about fairness. Then I'm going to talk about sovereignty. Some facts. An illegal alien in the state of Arizona is twice as likely to commit a crime versus a natural-born citizen. Fact. 90% of all heroin and fentanyl come across the southern border. Fact. Over 10,000 kids are illegally sex trafficked across the southern border every single year. Fact. We have 56,000 illegal immigrants in our federal prison system. Fact. And countless in our state penitentiary system. $135 billion a year. That's how much is the financial burden on U.S. taxpayers every single year that illegal immigrants drain from our system. Fact. You put all that together, that's a pretty compelling argument that we have some problems with our southern border. Those are some facts. Number 2 is fairness. As Candace said, it is not fair to the people in Bolivia. It's not fair to the people in Bangladesh. It is not fair to the people in Belarus that had to wait in line, fill out an application form, not commit a crime, and then wait a decade to come into this country to maybe have a chance to become an American. It is not fair to them. Number 3 is sovereignty. Why do walls matter? Why do borders matter? Borders are a physical representation of when good ideas begin and bad ideas start. If you don't believe me, just ask East and West Germany, or at North or South Korea. If you believe in open borders, you do not believe in the physical delineation of where good ideas start and bad ideas start. The wall right now is not only important for facts, not only important the facts I mentioned, the fairness, but also the sovereignty. We are not Mexico. We have a unique culture. We have a unique identity. The Mexican culture is something that should be appreciated and understood, but our culture is much different and has outpaced them over the last 50 years. And to say that we should have open borders and we should have some sort of transferable citizenship cheapens the idea of the American identity and culture, the people that have waited in line and the tens of millions of immigrants that have to fly halfway across the world to come into this country. So those are the 3 reasons I would give: to build the wall, build it quickly, build it high, build it wide, with a big door so everyone can come in legally. Thank you.
That was so well said. You know, Trump could have just said, all right, here's the deal. I want to address the country, but instead I'm going to have that guy.
I think that this had to be some sort of stalling mechanism, because he didn't say anything he hasn't said any before.
Right.
So,
well, he did say that he's going to be having Congress tomorrow.
Right.
To the White House.
Right.
For a 45-minute discussion or however long it takes. I have no idea. Trump is all about transparency. I wonder if that's going to be made available for people to see, or if he's going to do some sort of backdoor.
Probably not going to be available
deal.
To see.
All right, so guys, if you don't do this, I'm going to declare a national emergency, so you might as well do it or whatever.
Let me tell you why I support the wall.
Which we weren't exactly for.
I do not like the idea of the wall, and I think we can be open and transparent about the idea of a wall. I'm claustrophobic. If there's some reason I'm in Mexico and I want to get to the U.S., I want to be able to get there.
Right.
There's some reason I want to get into Mexico, I want to get there. Okay? I'm all about bending rules, not breaking them, but bending them. And I don't mind if somebody acts, if a few people, and none of us do. Nobody really cares if thanks, Sydney, a few people come over here illegally.
Right.
Okay? What has happened, though, is you have a system that our everyday lives is dependent upon illegal immigration.
Right.
And Tucker Carlson is probably one of the best people who lays out the case that the Democrats and some Republicans are still the party of slavery. They found that it wasn't palatable to people anymore to own the people.
Yeah.
But they still need slaves to perpetuate their high life without having to do menial tasks.
And it's not just slavery from the standpoint of having the Mexicans come in and pick the strawberries or whatever. It's slavery in that they come in and they are promised food and housing and healthcare and education and whatnot in exchange for votes.
And it's a many tiered vast system of wrongs.
Right.
There is a supremacist mindset that says Ain't no white guy gonna put on a roof. Ain't no white guy gonna do landscaping. But guess what, guys?
Right.
20 years ago, Americans were putting roofs on.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing landscaping. They were people's maids and daycare workers and trash picker-uppers and tree cutters, downers.
Right.
We have a two-tier system where a lot of these low-income people who would be doing these jobs are actually stuck on the drugs.
Yeah.
Then those people would be doing the jobs. Why do I know this for a fact? Because I know farmers who can't find work locally because the people that show up are stuck on the drugs coming over from the Mexican border.
And it's not just the
And so
farmers,
then they
it's all of our local businessmen that we know personally.
Right.
They can't find, workers
And
to
Mexicans
help repair
will work
lawnmowers and whatnot.
harder because these are family men. So
Mm-hmm.
these are middle class family men working at wages of lower class people. Maybe we have a class system.
We do.
Because the value of our dollar is more than the Mexican peso.
Yeah.
And the guy who put our roof on, nice guy. The only one who spoke English.
Yeah.
I didn't know that the crew was going to be Mexican. The people that put on our roof were all white guys.
They sold us.
They sold us on the roof. I didn't know. He didn't say I had a Mexican crew. He said I had a crew.
They're laughing at your tree cutter downers.
Tree cutter downers.
You mean lumberjacks?
Lumberjacks. I cannot call the Mexicans lumberjacks. They're just with the machines and the trimmers. It just isn't.
You think Paul Bunyan with an axe?
Yeah.
You think lumberjack?
Right, exactly, and I can't really call him a lumberjack without an axe.
Yeah,
chainsaw.
If they had an axe, then I think they'd be
chainsaw
all right.
Wielding guys with machines. No, not lumberjacks. They're tree cutter downers. So, what was I saying?
No,
you interrupted me.
I'm sorry.
I was on a roll.
You're rolling.
I was talking about the guy who came, the one English speaking guy. He lives here, and he's lived here for like 3 years. And he loved our farm.
He wanted to buy
and
some
he wanted
chickens.
to buy our rooster, actually.
Yeah.
He wanted a rooster and some chickens. And he said, I had all this at home in Mexico.
I had a pig. I had a cow. I had,
And all these guys, their homes and their families are in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And why can't we support making Mexico great again so they can go home? They would rather be on their farms.
Yeah.
But the economy in Mexico has dried up. So I don't think that Donald Trump, he does say, let's make Mexico great again. But I'm not sure that he's giving that enough tension. And I think that the liberals might back him and support him a little bit more if he understood why the people are coming. If he was a little bit more personable onto why does he... I think this is what he's missing. Because... in focusing on the criminal aspect of it, you're right. You hammer it. But if you want to win some people over, you have to do like we do and see the reason why they're here.
Yeah.
And see the policies that mess things up. And the problem is that if he does that, then the American corn industry falls. So then we're back to, hey, listen, the criminals are coming over, build the stinking wall.
Exactly.
Okay, so it is what it is, and I'm just wondering if possibly by building the wall and de-incentivizing people from coming over here, that it might encourage the people in South America to stay and find another way.
Yeah.
Okay, so the corn is... So American
we
corn
say this
comes
on our
down
show
and
a lot,
floods it
but
cheaper.
they had hundreds of varieties of corn.
200 varieties.
Down there that they used for so many different things. And then the Monsanto GMO corn has completely ripped that market to shreds. I mean, these are heritage veins of corn. And they're just all wiped out now because nobody's growing them because Monsanto has put them... has forced them out of their country, essentially.
And so it became an easier thing to do.
Yeah.
Rather than stay and fight for their own country, it's just easier, cross the border, go make some money, and go back home. And so I believe in the Mexican people. I believe in these men that come over. I believe they're willing to work hard.
Yeah.
And I believe that if the wall's built and they're forced to stay in their own country, they can innovate. They can make their country better.
Right.
And to say that they can't, to say that they have to come here, to say that somehow the Mexican culture and government is unsavable, uncorruptible, whatever. To say that say that all of South America can never be better again is supremacist.
Well, and also, because I keep going back to the drugs, I think of, the money that is made from the sex trafficking and the child trafficking and the drugs that comes over the border. Now, if they are stopped, then all of that vice gets stuck down there, and you're going to have a lot of angry people with guns and violence in their hearts because they don't have an outlet for it, and they will probably turn on the Mexican people. Now, the bleeding heart Americans would probably say, well, we can't let that happen, but here's the problem. We aren't responsible for Mexico. We are responsible for protecting our nation and our people from what those gang members are doing. Because it takes a strong and solid America to be able to help anybody out. And we aren't strong and we aren't solid because of them coming over.
And what we can do is use our voice and use our influence.
Yeah.
Because there was a woman on Twitter. Her name is Rahif. I'm going to show you guys this. She's from Saudi Arabia. She went from Kuwait and got stuck in Thailand. See, Breitbart says, this is a knockout by Trump. He spoke compassionately about embracing the parents of victims. Pelosi and Schumer are repeating a wooden set of talking points, ineffective and unnecessary. As I said this morning, having Democrats rebut the president was the best thing for Trump. Ben Shapiro says, maybe we should have watched him. Here's the problem for Democrats and the media. People do, in fact, care about border security, and when Trump talks directly to Americans about it, they tend to agree with him.
Right.
Did you know Chuck Schumer, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, Dianne Feinstein all voted to spend billions on a secure fence in 2006? Why are they opposed to upgrading the steel barrier now?
Now, pause right there. Two things I wanted to address. Robin Poe said Mexico is actually strengthening their southern border, so they're trying to protect themselves. Number two, earlier when Trump had mentioned that he had changed it from a from a concrete barrier to a steel barrier, Donna Terry said, I think that the reason why the Democrats want it to be steel is so that they can take it down after Trump's left office, because the concrete one, you wouldn't be able to. It's a very good point.
He said more, I don't know if we missed this part, but he's...
Vietnam War. In the last 2 years, ICE officers made 266,000 arrests of aliens with criminal records, including those charged or convicted of 100,000 assaults, 30,000 sex crimes, and 4,000 violent killings. Over the years, thousands of Americans have been brutally killed by those who illegally entered our country, and thousands more lives will be lost if...
More Americans will die from drugs this year than were killed in the entire Vietnam War.
Okay, so he did address it.
Yeah.
That's good. That's very good. So KSG on Facebook Live said, did any major news network show the president's speech? Now, it looked like when I was looking for it, it was, and I don't know anything because I don't watch regular television, CBSN.
The meme potential here.
Oh, that's so great. CBSN is the one that, CBS News is the one that streamed it on YouTube. I'm pretty sure that they had it on, I think almost every station probably put it on, wouldn't you think?
Timmy Bruce says, the Schumer-Pelosi response is stiff, angry, and disconnected, highlighting even more real Donald Trump's genuine concern about humanitarian crisis unfolding at the border. Dems didn't address the issue, focused on politics. Geez, that was creepy.
That is really creepy.
He's got a lazy eye.
Yeah, he does.
It's embarrassing. The Democrats are embarrassing.
Okay.
Anomaly says, God bless President Trump. He works very hard to protect America and speak the truth. I will never forget how horribly and dishonestly people treated him.
John Hayes on YouTube says, don't worry, the wall will be built. Gonzola says, everyone on the chat needs to donate to the wall. There is a GoFundMe put on by that guy, and shoot, I can't remember his name, that had his Facebook page taken down. That veteran.
The veteran.
The amputee. And you can go and find it. I don't know where it is. I know we've covered it.
You can the wall funding, build the wall, GoFundMe, go fund the wall.
Well, you'll know it's the right one when it's got $19 million voted already.
Yeah. Ben Shapiro says Trump's statement will be mocked for not making news by the same media that have covered it incessantly. Here's the point. He went over their heads to hammer home his point. This was his only chance at changing the shutdown math. So different people have obviously some views that they did a really good job. Chuck and Nancy, two elitist millionaire Democrats who do live behind walls, have voted for wall funding before, who now say the wall is immoral because they want more illegals to vote for them.
All right, so I have this up for you guys to see. I literally just put GoFundMe, build the wall, whatever. But it's on GoFundMe, and here you can see it has a $1 billion goal, and they're at over 19 million now, raised by 327,000 people in 22 days.
I don't think anybody wants to be like a still shot, but they do look like comic book characters.
They do.
Schumer looks like he should be holding a pitchfork. Pelosi looks like a frightened owl.
She does.
Comrades, you will never again see a political defeat as lopsided as what we just saw. Never go up against the president in the Oval Office. Trump address.
So somebody's impressed.
Yeah. I'm having difficulties fact-checking Schumer and Pelosi's impotent and bizarre response. They look terrified and they were being forced at gunpoint to read a statement they didn't write. Oh, wow. That's pretty funny. You probably want to see this. Kellyanne Conway kind of smacked down Jim Acosta today.
Oh my gosh, I love
definitely
her. She has a curse word in here.
Yeah, have you seen it?
No, but I can read, and you're not telling the people. This is me reprimanding Leah live in front of everyone.
Oh, wait.
Yes, Jim, can you promise that you will? The whole truth and nothing but... Yes, Jim, can you promise that you will? The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Am I allowed to mention God to you? Jim, I know that's a cheat. Make sure that goes viral. This is why, by the way, this is why I'm one of the only people around here who even gives you the time of day.
Can you guarantee?
And let me get back in your face, because you're such a smart ass most of the time, and I know you want this to go viral. A lot of these people don't like you.
Wow.
There was actually more to that, but it was really funny.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty funny. You know what? I want to watch the whole thing. See if it
Practical consideration.
Kellyanne, can you promise that the president will tell the truth tonight? Will he tell the truth?
Yes, Jim, can you promise that you will?
I will.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I'm not the
Am
one
I
who
allowed
has
to
the
mention God to
alternative facts
you?
problem like you do.
Jim, I know that's a cheat. Make sure that goes viral.
Okay.
This is why, by the way, this is why I'm one of the only people around here who even gives you the time of day.
Can you guarantee?
And
that the
let me
president's speech
get
will
back
pass
in
a
your
fact check?
face, because you're such a smart ass most of the time, and I know you want this to go viral. A lot of these people don't like you. But let me just be respectful to the media at large, as I always am. I explained that was alternative information, additional facts. And I explained it many times. And don't you put it back in my face for all the corrections that your network needs to issue. I was on your network 25 or 26 times in 2018. I'm one of the last people here who even bothered to go on. And the disrespect that you showed to me personally, I'll just look past.
Ma'am,
and don't call me ma'am to make it up. That's why, go ahead, please, Mom.
Love her.
You can't just suddenly call me ma'am and show me respect. That's not how it works.
Oh my
so,
gosh.
anyways, what I wanted to show you guys was this hashtag Save Raif. This is a Saudi woman.
Oh, this is so great.
Is trying to get to Australia. And she was on a plane from Kuwait to Thailand and Thailand to go to Australia. But her daddy contacted the Saudi government. The Saudi government contacted Thailand, and Thailand said, you got to go back home, honey child. Saudi Arabia wants you back. And she's like, but I fear for my death. So she put all of her information out there on social media, which most Saudi people just use a fake picture. They hide themselves. She's like, this is my real name. This is my real phone number. Anyone, please contact me.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody did contact her. She has videos of herself in a hotel room, or Thailand put her in a hotel room. She's got a table up against the wall. She's just tweeting like mad, asking anybody can help her. Everybody was in it. Majid from LBC, and people were just saying, Canada help, Australia help, anybody help. And Thailand, because it had so many retweets, because it finally got attention on Twitter. This is why social media, it can do good things.
Yeah.
Thailand had to contact the UN, and she is safe in custody. However, this is the Saudi charged with affairs that went to Bangkok, Mr. Al-Shubabi, in a meeting with Thai officials. He says in Arabic, I guess, she opened a Twitter account and her followers grew to 45,000 within one day. It would have been better if they confiscated her cell phone instead of her passport, because Twitter changed everything. Now, you probably shouldn't let people know that.
Yeah, exactly.
So this went viral. I tweeted about it. Everybody tweeted about it. We need to speak out for freedom and justice. And yeah, so there's the English to that. So within 36 hours, Save Rahif prompted Thailand's government to reverse a decision to force the young woman onto a plane that would return her family. And she has wanted to go to Australia, and Australia is has closed its doors to a lot of the refugees. But if she's a real refugee, it looks like Australia will offer Saudi teen, she's 18 years old, asylum if she's found to be, and she is a genuine refugee.
Wow.
She barricaded herself into a Bangkok hotel airport room, begged for asylum from Australia, and could have her wish granted. Australia confirmed on Tuesday night that it was deeply concerned about the plight of this woman and confirmed it would likely grant her a humanitarian visa if the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees determined her claims are genuine. However, her case has also raised questions over why Australia has moved so swiftly to open the door to refugee protection for the social media savvy teenager, as thousands of other asylum seekers languish without resettlement.
Oh, for crying out loud. They're not coming because they're afraid if they go home that their parents and family are going to kill them.
Yeah. So
okay.
Right.
I mean, that's a real refugee.
She says she has renounced Islam. This woman claims she was beaten by her brother, forced to pray and wear a hijab, and was terrified of her father, a powerful Saudi governor. I'm afraid my family will kill me, she said on Twitter.
How did she get to Thailand to start with? I wonder.
She was able to get she fled a family holiday in Kuwait.
Wow.
Before boarding a plane in Australia. See, she was in Kuwait. Kuwait doesn't have the same travel restrictions.
Right.
So she was able to get on a plane, and she had a visa for Australia. When she arrived, she claims in Bangkok, a man was waiting with her name written on a place card who promptly confiscated her passport. She has also claimed her father subsequently arrived at the Thai airport.
Oh, that's
she
terrifying.
says, my life is in real danger if I'm forced to return to Saudi Arabia. Renunciation of Islam, known as apostasy, is punishable by death in Saudi Arabia. Her father arrived in Thailand, but as of Wednesday morning, she was refusing to see him. A family spokesperson told the BBC that they did not wish to comment. Human Rights Watch Deputy Director for Asia, Phil Robertson, said he was concerned about the father's arrival. We have no idea what he is going to do, whether he will try to find out where she is or go and harass her. We don't know whether he's going to try to do that in embassy. And Mona El-Thwathway is a feminist.
Rahaf Muhammad Al-Qanun, mark my words, is going to start a revolution in Saudi Arabia. Go on social media now and watch the accounts of so many young Saudis saying, Rahaf, you have shown us that we can do this. Rahaf, you have shown us that we deserve to be free. Those women and the men who are fighting for women's rights activists who are in prison today in Saudi Arabia, they are the leaders, the vanguard of a revolution that will free Saudi women, that will destroy the patriarchy in Saudi Arabia by ending once and for all the guardianship system, which is the foundation of patriarchy in Saudi Arabia. Rahaf, I salute you. All the feminists and women's rights activists in Saudi prison today, it breaks my heart and it enrages me that you are being tortured, but we hear you, we see you, we are paying attention to you. Pay attention, world. We hear you and we see you, and I salute you. My Saudi sisters, My Saudi brothers who want to be free, my Saudi comrades who want to be free, I salute you and we stand with you. We are your allies in freedom and you deserve to be free and you will be free.
You know, I really think this is something that everybody got behind, whether they were right and left, and it was just like a beautiful thing. And I think that if we can put aside political differences for just one moment, this is finally a feminist movement that everybody can get behind. And
Absolutely.
I wanted to put out there, I'm like, so is it Islamophobic to say that Saudi Arabia uses Islam to have this guardianship law and to have the idea that you can chop people's heads off?
Exactly.
You can literally, if they leave Islam, they behead you with a sword.
Right. So is Rahif
with a sword
Islamophobic? Yeah, she's afraid. She's afraid of Islam.
They behead you with a sword in front of everyone in like a stadium.
Stop pretending this is your sword.
It's like, seriously, how am I Islamophobic? Because I am afraid of that.
Right.
Like, if I went to Saudi Arabia
and I was a
Muslim,
Arabia.
like, no, if I'm a Saudi Arabia, if I'm in Saudi Arabia and I'm supposed to be a Muslim and I'm going to want to leave it, I'm going to be Islamophobic. I'm going to be really afraid of Islam.
Yeah.
Like, why? Because if I leave it, if I would be Christian phobic, if I went to leave Christianity and they were going to burn me at the stake.
Yeah.
And they did do that.
They did.
And they stopped. Because enough people said that's bad.
And they repented.
And they said sorry. Actually, I don't know if the people who did it said sorry. They just all went to hell. So,
hell alert.
You know, hell alert. Which is where all these Saudi Arabian Muslims who behead people for leaving Islam are going. Sorry, Islamophobia. You know, yeah.
So, that's cool.
Yep.
That she's going to get asylum probably with Australia.
Yeah.
G'day, mate.
Yeah.
Get Rahif asylum.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And if there were people coming literally, genuinely with their lives in danger, they're afraid because, and you can't, and see, here's the thing. You can't just say, I'm in a bad neighborhood.
Right.
You know, I would not say to her, I'm sorry. Like, if she can get on a plane and just go somewhere, anywhere, you can't just become a citizen. I'm sorry. You can't overstay your visa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not how this works. I'm sorry for people who are born in a dangerous place. But here's the thing. In a lot of these South American countries, you can leave your country. You can leave your country.
Yeah.
You can go into other countries. You can get on a little plane. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these people can't afford an airplane ticket.
Absolutely.
A lot of these people can't afford it, so they walk right in. And
well, here's the deal. This is what it boils down to.
Sydney.
When, who was that guy with her?
Who, where, what?
With Candace.
That's,
Is that Charlie Kirk?
Charlie Kirk.
Okay, so Charlie Kirk, when he was so, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is, but since he really put it well, that it's not fair. And here's the deal. With the amount of illegals that we have flooding into the United States, we could take in every legitimate refugee in the world. Okay? Because there aren't that many people like Rahif compared to the amount of people that are flooding in to, I'm totally making these figures up, but I'm probably right. That's Jasper. Finish my thought there.
What Michelle's saying is that real refugees are afraid for their life, and they've gotten to a place where they can contact a government official somewhere somehow. And it's like Christians in China or the homeschoolers in Germany. You're the anomaly in your country if you're a refugee. You're the outcast. You're the person who doesn't fit in. That's why you're called a refugee, because people don't want your government is after you.
Right.
And if a government is after everybody, then that's when the whole government has to change.
Right.
Hi, Jasper. What are you doing? All right. So build the wall. I'm for it. 100%.
I really thought it was going to be longer.
Yeah, I thought
address.
we would be here. Like, how many times have we been here for like an hour or two, right?
Yeah. Oh, but that's so great.
They are very upset with Kevin for getting in trouble again. That's really funny.
That's a Home Alone joke.
This is that he's become a meme.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, everybody's just tweeting out.
Oh no. That's did that. That's great. Oh my goodness.
The build the wall. So Megyn Kelly tweets out, because Late Night with Seth Meyers says, is this Oval Office SVU, Special Victims Unit? Megyn Kelly says, I'm sure that's hysterical to the families of the murder victims the president just discussed.
Broken clock can be right twice a day.
Yeah, Megyn Kelly. She used to be right a few times a day. There you go. There they are. There they are.
Oh my, that's really funny.
That is funny. Just give him a pitchfork. Matt Walsh says, this image will haunt my dreams tonight.
So you guys can go back and find it and watch what they said, should you so desire.
Creep show. Pelosi and Schumer freak out viewers. Blank stares, scowls, crazy eyes, costume dem response.
Wow.
What a creep show. Unfortunately, I don't think they won over anybody.
Oh, really?
Leader Schumer?
Thank you, Speaker Pelosi.
Leader Schumer?
Thank you, Speaker Pelosi.
Okay, that's
the truth.
Okay.
Thank you, Speaker Pelosi.
But seriously, though, it's
Thank you, Speaker Pelosi.
the way that he says that
Thank you,
is
Speaker Pelosi.
You know he doesn't mean it.
It's robotic.
Oh, I am the
It's very robotic.
Because they don't
my
mean
gosh.
it. They know they need border security. They're making things up. Schumer and Pelosi look like aliens tonight.
Yeah, they kind of did.
Somebody says, let's see. All right. Trump's, Faith Goldie says, Trump's Oval Office address was the penultimate box to tick before declaring a national emergency, exhausting all options before doing so.
Yeah. And that's been my gut feeling
I was
since
wondering,
I heard about
this
this.
feels like a setup. That makes
I think
sense.
that's exactly what it is. Okay, so why did he declare a national emergency? Well, he just explained it on Tuesday night.
Deal tomorrow or declare a national emergency.
And I think that's what that's what's in his plan. That's what he has up his sleeve.
Schumer and Pelosi came off as diabolical reptiles. Wheels are in motion. Dr. Robert Jeffrey says, powerful speech by President real Donald Trump. Americans should thank God every day we have a president like Donald Trump who takes his oath of office seriously and is willing to do whatever is necessary to protect this country.
Now, from what I understand, and Leah, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I had heard, and I don't know if we covered this, and if we did, then I just feel silly, but I had heard that if there is a national emergency declared to fund the wall, that the funding has to come out of the military expenditure budget.
Well, and this is where Will Chambers, as a lawyer, has spelled out how under two different provisions Trump can build the wall. Excuse me, I'll go to his thread here, but Britt Hume retweeted this from Jeff Greenfield. It's appropriate to call journalists to account for focusing on optics rather than substance, but considering how substance-free tonight was, from Trump and from Schumer and Pelosi, perhaps we can be forgiven for noting that the two Democrat leaders appeared to be embalmed.
They did. They always do, though. They both always do.
Will Chamberlain is his name. He's a lawyer in D.C. who I like to follow. He's good. He breaks things down.
Oh my gosh.
He's Trump enters, sits, welcome to the nation, says he has a word from a good friend of his. He gets up. An angel mom sits down, talks about a great loss, and asks what Chuck and Nancy have to say to her. Fades to black. That's what he would have.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, there's The Shining.
Oh wow, that's great.
So let's see. He has some threads, but he looks like he went through a lot just a minute ago.
Oh, Jack Posobiec, he said, did President Trump just quote me on national TV? There's a clip of that.
Yeah, I saw that. Where are you? I guess he retweeted out Representative Dan Crenshaw, who is the military vet who was injured. He says, tonight the president will be speaking on border security, some things to keep in mind. The problems on the border need to be addressed. 400,000 illegal aliens being apprehended per year while crossing an open border is completely unsustainable. The problem must be solved in a multifaceted way. Physical barriers are a necessary part of that solution. Just ask the migrant caravan when they arrived in Tijuana, where the wall prevented them from overrunning our border agents. Walls mitigate movement, period. Walls are necessary, but of course we recognize that they aren't the only solution. Some places require different methods, as the president's plan recognizes. Drones, sensors, more patrols. It all works together, and physical barriers are a part of that. A wall in one location frees up manpower resources in another. This is important to understand why we are okay with building in some areas and waiting on others. Dismissing a wall or fence as ineffective or 4th century solution, which is what they've done. No, it's 4th century, Middle Ages. In the Middle Ages, they built walls. We can't build walls. Now we're the 22nd century. Where are we? A solution is an attempt to undermine the plan without providing any logical reasoning. Don't succumb to lazy arguments. Let's think this through and reopen the government with adequate funding for border security. Border security.
We're in the 21st century.
Whatever. We are. Whatever.
In the
20th century, Fox. 21st century. I skipped a century because I feel like, things have been going really fast.
You're just going right to the 22nd century.
Just call me AOC, baby. You down with AOC? Yeah, you know me. That's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She now has an acronym.
Now, our Patriot Gallery in the chat was wanting everybody to go and join the discussion on the Facebook page to help maybe bring back some balance to the force of the socialite.
I can take him down one-handed, and I don't mind. They don't need to be taken down. They just need to be nannied into the truth.
It has cracked me up how many of them can't do math, are stuck in thinking that the Fed is awesome because, of course, they need the Fed to print the fake money to fund the stuff out of nowhere. They're fairy dust imaginations.
So he disseminates a National Review saying there's a thread analyzing this David French piece and where it comes up short. Warning, we're going through legal weeds. He talks about how Trump can't do the wall. Trump can't buy land for the wall. Wrong. Under 8 USC 1103B, the Attorney General has the continuing authority to acquire land near the border if he deems the land essential to control the borders of the United States. So emergency powers aren't even needed. This is one area where eminent domain is actually constitutionally factual on the border.
Right.
So we have, according to Nancy Pelosi, many borders, many oceans. And what did she say? We got a
come on.
We got an ocean on the north. I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever
I think she said like we had like a north coast.
A north coast. North Coast and South Coast, East Coast, West Coast. So we're fortunate that a lot of people from Canada aren't coming in. So we're good there, right? We're fortunate
on our northern coast
that we have an Atlantic Ocean, keeping most people from just popping over.
Right.
Right. I mean that ocean's kind of big. You got to hit the Canary Islands before you, it takes a little while to cross that. Usually not getting over in a dinghy. Pacific, same thing. A little bit hard to reach from Australia, so we're good. We have a Gulf of Mexico, which is a little bit harder, but obviously Cubans have found a way, in, but a little bit difficult there. So we have only like one area.
You can only fit so many people on a boat.
It's just Texas and California that we have to deal with. It's not going to be that hard. It's not that hard. We don't even have to have a whole southern border. Florida, kind of waterlocked, like I said. The Cubans, some of them can swim over. Get a little dinghy, like I said. But still, I don't mind that. I say Cubans can come. It's a little island. I don't mind if all of Cuba comes. That's my personal opinion. Cuba then is drained of all people.
Right.
And then the dictators all lose power. They die off. New people go flood it. Start a new government.
Okay.
So it's kind of like got to take everything out of the room sometimes to paint it. So let's allow all the Cubans over.
Yeah.
Then they don't have anybody. Then they don't have any power.
After the dictators are gone.
Then they don't have any power. You lose the dictators lose all the power. We could sustainably take in all the Cubans. Okay. And I have a feeling, because Cuba's actually, barring dictatorship communism, is actually a vacation spot.
Right.
So then, I think it would balance out, because enough people, once the commies are out, and it's set up as like a nice democracy, enough people want to move back.
Right.
It's a vacation spot. It's a little fancy island.
President Trump.
This is a really great idea.
Discussion with Leah on how to make this happen. She's available.
I have just solved this. I've just solved that problem.
What are you drinking? That is probably tea, if I had to guess.
It's tea, and I get really thirsty when I come and do this with you guys.
Sydney obviously gets very upset as well.
I found
you've given her like the whole bag.
Not
of those. Almost.
Yummy. I got these discounted.
Before we went live, I told Leah maybe Sydney would like to go upstairs so she wouldn't cry. And Leah thought she could.
There's no crying in baseball.
Right.
Oh!
What'd you do? Hit her in the head?
Hit her in the noggin.
All right, so we're probably going to sign off here.
Wait, Mom wanted me to go over this. I can.
Okay, the blog.
Yeah, while we're here, with something to talk about, let's give him something to talk about. Talking about the Federal Reserve. You down with AOC? Yeah, you know me. You down with AOC? Yeah, you know me. This is Zero Hedge article about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and some of you don't know who she is. You're gonna have to go play catch up. Just kidding. Oh, speaking of Cuba, Cubans are outraged at the luxury life of Fidel Castro's grandson. Fidel Castro's grandson here. This is how communism works, by the way. Cuban dissidents expressed outrage this weekend after American media outlets exposed the lavish lifestyle of Tony Castro, Fidel Castro's grandson, as documented in his now private Instagram account. The younger Castro has published months of photos showing him traveling the world, sunbathing on a luxury yacht, eating at fine dining establishment, and attending social events with a date carrying a purse estimated to be worth thousands of dollars. Castro's only known occupation is as a model, though he has not appeared in any major runway in recent memory. And he doesn't look like much of a model, I just have to be honest. So this is how communism works. Here's, I don't know if you can see them, but he's having a really fun life. I guess it's okay for him to leave the country, but all the other Cubans are stuck.
Right.
Their government literally keeps them in their country. They're not, it's like Saudi Arabia, they're not allowed to leave.
Unbelievable.
They're not allowed to go anywhere.
Patriot Gallery.
Without the government's permission.
Well, I was on Free Zaki just for a second. They were sharing this. Everybody like and share. And the owner, whatever, Z Plus, he had sent me a message saying our last video I had trouble with. I uploaded it and it didn't play because you had put a restriction on it. And he told me that, and so I said, don't worry about it, Michelle fixed it, so I reloaded it. He said, your video's got 300 views. That's a lot for Zaki. You get 1 to 5 views because it's still a small community. And we have 300. And so I thought you might want to share it, let people know about it, because it's a great video.
Valley Forge one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just here real quick.
Oh, okay.
It's a very encouraging, very inspirational. And you can just show parts of it. You don't have to show the whole thing.
Right.
So if you guys don't know, if you didn't see our premiere, because we can't go live on Massay 3,
but we
made
stuff.
a video for y'all in our little costumes. And it's encouragement, and I don't know why when she gets this flag out, I just got to keep waving it. All right, and I read to you guys
I think it's probably
inspirational thing on George Washington and crossing the Delaware on Christmas Day night.
Here,
47.
I'm not going to pull up the whole thing. I'm just going to pull it up.
Hello, everyone.
A little bit.
Welcome to this throwback edition of Resistance Chicks. 1776. We wanted to bring you guys a little bit of hope and reading about the most famous American Christmas of all. By Christmas Eve, 1776, the American Revolution was, in essence, over. The Americans had lost. George Washington was out of options. His army, now down to only a few thousand, had lost 7 battles in a row and was freezing on the west bank of the Delaware River, awaiting the end. The British, on the other hand, had 33,000 soldiers, well over 100 ships, and were partying in New York City, preparing for the final surrender. Most of the American troops had resolve, but they had lost hope that England could ever be defeated. Half of Washington's army, 1,500 men, were quitting that week and going home because their enlistments were up.
All right, so we're going to pause it there. This is like, it's to be continued. You have to go and watch the rest. You can watch it on Match Day 3. You can watch it on Freezaki. You can watch it on Resistance Chicks as well.
I don't know if you can drop the link from the Freezaki one in there somehow.
I can try to remember to put the Freezaki link in the description later. Yes.
So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, why are we going to talk about her? Because she's the new face. Like, we're not talking about her.
Right.
The progressive left is in love with her. She is their new messiah, and if there's her crazy eyes. And if we don't combat her lies quickly and nip them in the bud now, they're just going to keep going and going and going and going. Like, you have to stop it now. So she has this Green New Deal that we told you about. Stop in the name of love. Sydney. And here are 5 of the most important things you need to know about the Green New Deal. Number 1, it includes many radical programs that have nothing to do with the so-called green energy. Supporters of this Green New Deal that she has, which would it's not even funny. It's not even funny. She says she wants to reduce our carbon footprint down to 0 in 12 years. What does that mean? That means all of our cars are literally sent to solar-powered run trash compactors?
Right.
That's the answer. Mm-hmm. And somehow all cars in 12 years are all, what are they? Because electricity is not carbon footprint free. Nuclear energy is kind of, but if that gets out of control, then that can be like the end of life as we know it. So it's kind of like an iffy thing to do all nuclear, right?
Yeah. Energy.
But that's what she wants. She wants all buildings and all cars to be renewable energy, and that's just impossible. She's
hang on, we're just smoking just because we can.
Something crazy.
Really quick.
I'm not going to tell you that I really respect the question that you just asked. I'm not going to tell you that I really am going to take every one of these cars away from them, and that if I had a fight thing, I would do just that. And then I would make the government give everyone electric cars, because I don't want people not driving. Pardon the tick. I'm not a computer robot. It's going to take a lot of rapid check.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just can't. Like, you guys are going to keep seeing that, like, almost every single time we bring her up, because it's just too fun. I love it. I love it every time I see it. But the point is, she hasn't really talked about the fact that when she says 0 carbon emissions within 12 years, and she says, I know that that's an ambitious goal, she's not actually admitting to the fact that in order to have 0 carbon emissions, you have to take we're talking about classic cars, muscle cars, any old car, any gasoline car has to be taken off the streets. No one can drive it. Most of our cars are all of our cars are older than 12 years. Okay, so, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's like, in 12 years. There are most people that can't afford. I guess the government is giving everybody new cars. Like, everybody's getting a new
But it's fantastic, because that's what these people are saying on here, who are like, I need to study. They're telling me I need to study modern money. Somebody says, you can't create money from thin air. Eventually the house will crumble. Ancient China had fiat money, fake money, system for 400 years. That's a long eventually. Benjamin Franklin said when he ran the money supply that the reason the colonies did so well was that they were careful only to print enough colonial script, fiat money, to facilitate trade. When the British shut that system down and established the gold standard, it created an economic depression. No, here's what happened. And I show people this chart, which shows the dollar for 200 years was like this, and then inflation. Okay, so seriously, a dollar was a dollar was a dollar was a dollar.
Right.
I probably need to turn that down there. Here's my chart here I have for everyone. Here's the value of the dollar. Okay, right here, staying the same. There was a couple War of 1812. There was a couple blips, a little blip in 1865, and then we had the Federal Reserve, World War I, World War II, and it's just off the charts with inflation. That's the Consumer Price Index, actually. But you guys, it's they really believe in her
It's
deal.
embarrassing.
So if you guys want to go there and talk, any of you red-pilled, Bill Burnett people out there who just, evening, I don't have anything to do, where can I find somebody to debate and, try to red pill and do some good tonight? Go to the comment section.
On
Read some of them.
Chicks. Yeah.
I went and I commented to every single person once. I don't have time to engage in debates on Facebook. But on this one, because this is our wheelhouse, I felt like it'd be fun to just drop a few little notes to people, let them know that they're loved, they're cared about, they're thought about. And they're wrong.
I should probably put the case for the counterfeit currency video just in the comment section. I'll just
on every
leave
comment.
This
Watch this
right
first before you comment.
Right.
Because I have made my case. Now, if you made a video and you did a bunch of I don't want your links.
Right.
But if you made a video and you did a bunch of research, then I'll watch your video.
Right.
Maybe, if I have time. So, yeah, she's got this, she says it'll curb global warming, but it won't. Her Green New Deal is literally just to fund corporate
and that's
greed.
the thing that we were talking about the other day. That I don't think these socialist commies have a grasp on the fact that
reality.
This AOC chick really just Uncle Jack left his door open. His TV's going. Really has no concept of the fact. I just totally lost my train of thought because Uncle Jack's door's open. It's not important, but there's Dr. Phil going. Oh yeah, and now I know where it was. That AOC really just supports crony capitalism, because without crony capitalism, there is no money to fund all of the stuff that they want to give people.
And the innovation comes from a free market.
So they're not anti-capitalist. They just want want crony capitalists to be.
The innovation comes from the free market, not from like communist Cuba. Here, this is a good one. Chunk and Nancy, is that you? That's so good.
Okay, so we do need to sign off. This was an impromptu live stream that we were not going to do, but I thought, you know what? It's not every day that Trump speaks from the Oval Office.
Well, and it's not every day we do a second video within. So I was just thinking to myself, is there anything else I would like to cover with these people before? Oh, Laura Loomer. Get this, you guys. I love Laura Loomer. She's in a really kind of depressed mental state right now. I've been watching her.
She's been attacked. She's been taken.
No, she's been devoiced, deplatformed. How she made her living, made her money, and she's really in a hard place now. This from the Wall Street Journal exposed the fact that the Jewish journalist Laura Loomer was banned from Twitter because the CAR National, the Council of Islamic Relations, a designated Islamic terrorist organization, secretly lobbied Twitter to ban her and her journalism that exposed jihadis in Sharia, especially the two women running for office that are in office. I don't know their names off the top of my head because just don't. But the one in Minnesota, I believe they're from the Somali community, she married her brother to get him into America. Okay?
Yeah.
And I don't understand how you can be part of Congress when you've married your brother.
Well, so if they have exposed this, then I'm wondering if there will be any.
Facebook and Twitter turn to right-leaning groups to help referee political speech, it says. I don't know. So, the Wall Street, let's see. Silicon giants, Facebook and Twitter and Google's YouTube unit have made a concerted push to seek out input from hundreds of groups, a growing number which have lean right. No, I don't think so.
No, they don't lean right.
Yeah, I don't think so. Well, they did say that they did.
Oh, from the Family Research Council.
They did, but they obviously haven't taken any advice from him. haven't read the article, so I won't be able to go over that with you guys.
So, did you want to talk about the Golden Globes vaccine thing?
Sure. So, you can actually show a picture of it if you want to. The Golden Globes were last night. I don't care. All I care is they went around with a bunch of needles sticking people in the arm. It's saying people who are anti-vaxxers were idiots, pretty much, and making everybody get a flu vaccine.
Now, from what I understand, they weren't actually real flu vaccines.
Really?
I think that's what I read. Now, it wasn't reported that it was. Maybe it has since, but I was hearing about it like first thing this morning. I haven't researched it since then.
Was it? It was just a political stunt? They weren't sicking people with in the arm?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure about that. So,
here's good news. Fox News paid off the mortgage of the widow. The Mr. Mika Singh, the widow. Her husband was the one who was killed on Christmas by the illegal alien. They paid off her mortgage.
Oh, wow.
$300,000 she had on a mortgage. They raised $350,000, so she had an extra $50,000.
No way. Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm confused. You said this lady from Michigan, okay? She married her brother to get him in the country.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
No, it's Michigan. I know. People say Minnesota and people say Michigan. I've heard two different ones on.
There's there's two of them. There's one from Michigan. She didn't marry a brother. One from Minnesota did.
Oh, okay. Because one person was said they were born and raised in Detroit, and I'm like, well, if she was born in Detroit, her brother would be born in Detroit. No. There's two of them. That's why I was confused. Okay, you have some back.
All right, so I do have some sort of clip here, Lee. I don't know what it is, but we could pull it up and see what happens.
Rashida Tlaib and Enon Omar.
Oh, this is InfoWars.
Omar was the one who is the married her brother.
Hang on, let's switch. Let's see what InfoWars has to say here on this. I don't think it's a video. Sunday's Golden Globe Awards show took a bizarre turn after the hosts released fake doctors into the crowd advocating for flu shots. Roll up your sleeves, Hollywood, because you're all getting flu shots was the cue for the pack of, quote, doctors to approach the audience with faux injections. I guess maybe this is a video. You can see.
So it was just. So it was literally just
a stunt.
A stunt.
William Dafoe's like, that better not be a real needle.
How much the flu vaccine makers paid for that advertisement.
Stinking believable.
Sydney, I love you. As soon as we're done, she's going to be just fine.
I don't know. I think she's in a lot of pain recently.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We've been trying to talk about meds. She's a dog. We definitely. Video output is low. We're probably buffering because I was playing them.
We can sign off. I just thought while I have you here, I'd go over some of this week's news.
But we will be back on Friday, and we'll be covering our weekly roundups. Maybe some of this stuff will go over again. Maybe there will be new news by then.
One of the AfD leaders was in Germany, had his head smashed in.
Oh my gosh.
Violence has reached a new level.
An assassination attempt.
Yeah, they tried to kill him.
Wow.
They tried to kill him. And Roy Moore, this Friday we can talk about the fact that Roy Moore should definitely be the senator from Alabama.
Yeah.
It was Doug Jones won by like 1.5% of the vote, 22,000 votes. There was a mass misinformation campaign funded to the tune of $100,000 to make a bunch of Twitter bots that Russian and conservative, telling people they should write in another name. They even got the conservative who they told to write in to get in on their campaign.
No way.
And it was over the 22,000 votes that was needed. But if they hadn't done that, Roy Moore would have won that race.
Yeah.
Despite the accusations.
Yeah.
Okay, it was the write-ins and the Russians that really put it over. Like Roy Moore had that in the bag, even with the accusations. It was this close.
Yeah.
But that Russian fake campaign, so Doug Jones should definitely step down. He has to know every day he wakes up.
Oh, absolutely.
This is a
Does he
real
care, though?
campaign that was fake Russian collusion.
Exactly.
All right, we'll sign off.
Okay, guys. Chris Holman says he's going to be doing a Bible study at 6 p.m. tomorrow night
Cool.
on his channel. I know Eric and Kelly go live every Saturday at 8. I haven't plugged that in a while. We're usually gone on Saturdays at a friend's house. But so you guys can check those out. Remember that we love you.
And
God
God
loves
loves
you.
you.
God bless. It's not just a conspiracy theory.
If it's the truth.
So like, comment, and subscribe to Mass
Mass
Faith
Faith
3
3
and
and
Resistance
Resistance
Chicks.
Chicks.
Ring the bell for notifications. Find us on Facebook,
Follow us
Twitter,
on Twitter.
Freezaki. How do you spell that again? It's like, isn't it Zoxee?
That was a hard one.
Or something like that?
Free... It looks like Free Zone. It would be easier if it was. Free Zoxee.
Yeah. Freezaki. So it's an alternative YouTube, essentially. So we're on there. Mom's always on there. She shares a lot of it on Facebook.
She's trying to help build it
Resistance
up.
channel. So Resistance Chicks channel on Facebook.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yes, thanks for being here, and we'll see you guys on Friday night. God bless.
Look at her. She's eating food.
I was cold all alone. Your place